Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Kenny, bringing you guys some more spoiler-filled recap slash reviews. But this one's kind of a bit of a revisit. We're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 1. We're going all the way back to the beginning, recapping and revisiting all 3 seasons leading up to Season 4 Part 2. Just recently dropped the Season 4 recap on the channel recently, so go check that out after this video if you haven't already. But today, we're talking about where it all began, Season 1. Before we go any further, drop a like, hit that freaking subscribe button, man. It helps the channel out immensely. It gets us out there, and you know the dealio. We're trying to grow the community as well, so make sure to follow us on the social media, all that good stuff. But with no further ado, let's get into this thing, man. And off the top, if you're not familiar with the channel and you're a new audience member, welcome. I am a huge fan of Stranger Things, but for those of you that have seen the channel before or are already aware of that, love the show, love the series from the jump, and actually tuned into it for the first time before anyone else and before the whole thing really blew up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying no one else in the world had seen it. I'm just saying, like, no one I knew, and it wasn't like in the pop culture zeitgeist yet, because it was within the first couple days of it dropping. I ended up watching it and binging it all within like 2 days. And I was just like, God damn, this series is so damn compelling. And right from the jump, when you get into episode 1, chapter 1, whatever you want to call it, with all the boys together in Mike's basement playing Dungeons and Dragons, ending their little campaign, and then Will gets taken, and from that point on, I am just hooked into this thing, man. And I gotta say, there's like zero complaints I have for like this entire first season. To me, it is pretty much flawless. I really don't have any big like critiques or anything negative really to say about the series off top. Really, because for me, with every episode, through all 8 of them, it just gets better and more compelling and more action-packed and more dark and more scary and more intense and all that great jazz. But it always has a great balance of humor and character development and character building as well. And you get to see the kids just be kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's so refreshing today to just see really good kid actors getting to play genuine kids at whatever age they're supposed to be at and really play off that nostalgia, that Amblin vibe, and really bring that together and make them seem like a tight-knit group of friends. And I gotta say, from the Duffer Brothers direction to the casting, they just nailed it from top to bottom, man. Finn Wolfhard, Gaten Matazzaro, you know what I'm saying? I gotta give all these guys a shout-out for sure, because I absolutely love all of them. I'm forgetting Will and Lucas's those actors' names. Hold on a second here. Got to pull that up real quick. But man, I gotta say, just the casting all around. Charlie Heaton, man. Joe Keery is Steve. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. All right, yeah. And then Caleb McLaughlin is Lucas. And then you got Sadie Sink as Max, of course, but that's season 2 later on. Noah Schnapp. There you go. Noah Schnapp is Will Byers. And I gotta say, I just love the whole group dynamic between all these guys. And once Will goes missing, the way that all 3 of them have to pull together, and then they end up meeting 11. You know, the great Millie Bobby Brown herself. And she comes up in this piece, man. And all the intrigue of Hawkins' lab and Dr. Brenner and all that stuff is just introduced and so well done throughout the entire season. I love how many questions it raises, and the answers that you do get are satisfying, and the insight you do get through the flashbacks Eleven has throughout the first season. You really get a sense of what her life was like and all the fucked up stuff that was going down at Hawkins, you know what I'm saying? So that was all really well done. Loved that. And just the introduction of other characters like Jim Hopper, played by David Harbour, you know what I'm saying? He is one of my favorite characters in the entire series. So I really love him, man. You know, you got Will's and Jonathan's mom, Joyce, of course. You got Mike's sister, Nancy. You know what I'm saying? I already talked about Steve. Anyone else worth mentioning? You know, you got Mike's parents and whatnot, but that's pretty much your main cast right there. And I gotta say, those goddamn Demogorgons were so fucking effective in this first season, man. They're so mysterious and so creepy and scary, but so simplistic. And the CGI was very well done, man. I gotta say, as a horror fan, I usually prefer the practical effects, but right here in the season one, the CGI they did use, like 9 times out of 10, did look pretty phenomenal. So I got to give them credit there. And for the reasons why they used it is because of the way that the creature is moving around and whatnot. I understand why, and I think it's very well executed. I don't know if there was a suit mixed with CGI. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if they blended the two, then even better. But for the most part, the CGI is well done with the Demogorgons, the upside down effects, all that stuff. Loved that. And just the whole introduction into the whole alternate dimension that is the upside down is so fucking cool. It is just creepy and dirty, nasty, and just terrifying, man. It has such atmosphere, especially at the end in the finale when Joyce and Hop go in there and have to go rescue Will. Man, it is just so intense and disgusting. And with Hopper flashing back to his daughter and everything that happened with that leading up to her unfortunate passing from the point in which she actually first started getting sick, it is just so sad seeing that, you know. And it's just so well done, man, when it comes to the character development throughout the series itself, and just the world building of Hawkins and of the lab and all the newspaper clippings that Hopper goes through. It's just so well fleshed out and set up with such a great amount of mystery and intrigue, with a balance of answers and mysteries and plot points getting some resolution and some of them getting tied up, but plenty of things to set up for a potential future of the series back when it was not a guaranteed sure thing. You know what I'm saying? I think the Duffer Brothers did such a great job at setting all that stuff up, man. And I gotta say, I just love the world of the Upside Down, Hawkins, all that great stuff and everything that it entails, you know. And just the whole soundtrack and score throughout the series is just chef's kiss, so well done. Love the music there and all that good stuff, man. And I gotta say, some of my standout moments of the series for sure, you gotta mention the van flip, man. Like, god damn, we're taking ET, but we're keeping him on the ground on bikes. She's flipping the motherfucking van over him. I thought she was just gonna make him stop and like kind of almost make it seem like someone crashed into the van. You know what I'm saying? But she flipped the motherfucker over. That shit blew my mind. I was like, yo, we're going full Jedi up in this shit. I'm loving it. And just the whole moment of Eleven making Mike float when he jumps off that cliff to try to save Dustin from those bullies. That is also very well done and a very big homage to a pretty pivotal moment in it as well. And I think that is also not just in the movie, but in the novel. So great Stephen King nod nonetheless right there. And what's another great standout moment? Oh, the moment where Steve has the freaking bat with the nails in it and he's fighting the Demogorgon, trying to draw them away from, or he's trying to draw it away from Nancy and Jonathan. Love that. And that just whole sequence right there when they're using the lights like Joyce did earlier with the letters on the wall with the run moment, which is another one of my favorite standout moments in the series. Those two sequences combined right there at separate points, more towards the beginning and then the end of the series, man. Just the whole fucking finale is phenomenal, that's for sure. And the pilot first episode as well. All the episodes are great in the middle, obviously, but just those two episodes, man, I just think it's so damn exciting and well done and so well executed, and it has such a great payoff, and it has some bittersweet more tragic moments also towards the end, with the happy ending of finally getting their boy Will back. So I love that whole balance, and the whole disappearance of Eleven again, making it seem like she's seemingly gone and sacrificed herself. That was like super devastating at the time back in 2016. I was like, God damn, no, not my girl Elle, man, bring her back. But luckily they did in season 2, and as we all know, up until this point. And man, that was just so well done. And there's just so many great moments throughout all the episodes and throughout this whole fucking series, man. I just gotta say, and this is one of my all-time favorites, man. And it's so awesome with how they balance such great character development and storytelling and new mythology with all the nostalgia and the callbacks and the pop cultural references and some of the little bit of meta nature to it. I love all of that, man. And the horror elements that are in season 1 are like just top notch. Some of the best modern horror stuff we've had between movies and TV in decades, at least in my opinion. I just love everything with the Upside Down, the creatures, the Demogorgons, everything is just so well done. It's so terrifying and so simple at the same time. They don't get too crazy. It's not super cinematic either. It's very like, very not low budget, but it's very like grounded. You know what I'm saying? With just enough of that elevated, what would you say? Mystical, more supernatural type stuff. But it has a lot of that just horror, thriller, tension, and a lot of that is what really builds in this series and what really is the backbone of the horror that the Duffer Brothers set up in this series. And like I said, with the whole coming of age vibes, it's just so well done throughout this. Every character gets a moment to shine. Every actor gets their moment to really show what they have. And every character has a role to play and a purpose of being in the plot. There's no fat in this script for any of these episodes, man. It is just so well put together and so well paced throughout the entire season, man. I gotta say, there's just not enough praise that I could give this series, man. Honestly, I just absolutely love it, man. I never get enough of Stranger Things, especially season 1. It is definitely and possibly might be my favorite. Season 4 is fighting it right now, but I want to wait how part 2 comes in and finishes up before I really judge it in that regard. But putting season 4 aside, season 1 is my all-time favorite season of the show. It's always going to have a special place in my heart and came as such a pleasant surprise at a pretty dark time in my life when things were starting to look up but weren't quite there yet. And this was such nice, great escapism that harkens to everything I grew up on and loved watching as a kid into an adult, from a kid to a teenager and into my early adulthood, and everything that informs, me as a fan and fandom in that regard. And I just fell in love with these characters, this series. It means so much to me and it means so much to all of you out there. And for anyone that does tune into this, I want to just say thank you so much for supporting the show, supporting the channel, and supporting the podcast network as well. If you're listening to this over there in audio format and love listening to this sultry voice in your ears, man. But before I wrap up this final review for good, man, make sure you stay strapped in and don't fucking sleep on the channel, guys. We got recaps/revisits coming for season 2 and season 3 each week leading up to the premiere of season 4 part 2. We're going to have a recap right soon after that. And don't you be sleeping, guys. We got all the Marvel and DC stuff coming as well. We're halfway to Halloween. I'm starting to prep all the horror and Halloween-themed content we're going to do on the channel for the month of October. We got so many dope plans here for the rest of the year. And don't you guys miss out on a single thing. All you got to do is click that subscribe button, guys. And thank you for tuning in to this latest episode. And like I said before, season 1 of Stranger Things, to me, is pretty much flawless. I'm going to have to go ahead and give this one of the rare 10 out of 10s. I love Stranger Things season 1. What say you out there? Let me know what you think about season 1 and Stranger Things overall in the comments section below. I would love to get into a discussion with y'all. And hit us up on the social media and follow us over there at fan_frequency on Twitter, at fandom_frequency on IG. Hit us up over there and discuss all things fandom, all things pop culture, albums, movies, comic books, you name it. We talk about it here on the channel. So make sure you stay tuned. Don't sleep. Peace out, y'all.